AITA for leaving after my fiancé handed me a pack of toothpicks as a gift. I F30 been engaged to my fiancé M37 for 6 months. He is a pediatrician and I work as a hairstylist. For this year's holidays I saved up for months and had a very difficult time buying my fiancé the gift he always wanted but never bothered to buy. I bought him a PS5 from a relative that cost plus money since I couldn't find it anywhere else. I can't tell you how much of a struggle that was. My fiancé recently opened a private practice with his colleagues and his financial situation is better than it used to be. This year he gifted his parents his old apartment, he didn't tell me about that, and gave his brother his old Mercedes after spending money on customization. He got busy a few days before Christmas and didn't ask what I wanted as a gift. I brought up the things that I might need/use and the possibility of getting them as a gift for this year. He was listening and understood what I was saying. At that point I thought that he got an idea. On Christmas Day the family came to celebrate with us. Everyone got their gifts and I saw that he got me a pack of toothpicks. He handed it to me and I was so confused I asked him and he said it was for me. His younger sister started laughing quietly like it was funny. I blinked in astonishment. Like, what is this? He acted like I was making it awkward. He looked serious and asked if I was going to accept it or whether he should just give it to his niece. I couldn't believe he just said that. I asked if he was serious and he insisted that I just take it and thanked me for the PS5 I got him and told me he loved me. At that point I lost it. I went to the bathroom while his family were giggling for some reason. And I felt so awful I almost cried. He knocked on the door and told me that he was just messing with me, that it was just a prank, and that it was his sister's idea. I lost it. I started yelling at him and the whole family gathered near the bathroom and watched when I was yelling at him and calling him an asshole for doing this to me. What's worse is that his sister recorded my reaction for the lols so she could laugh about it later. Told him he was childish and insensitive. He argued that it was no big deal when he embarrassed me in front of his parents like that. We argued and then I left to my mom's house. He called me saying I overreacted and that he didn't think this would be my response. His mom berated me for ruining dinner and everyone's mood and causing a scene during a phone call saying I upset my fiancé by leaving all of a sudden. My mom thought they were all in the wrong for being part of this and I had no idea what the joke was honestly. The next day he showed up with my actual gift and started apologizing to me saying it was his sister who came up with this idea and used it as an excuse. This was not okay and I don't think anyone would be okay with this. Edit. To answer your question, his sister is 23, she's the youngest of 4. He's the oldest. I'm a plant lover and my gift was something to do with gardening. I grow a lot of plants in the backyard. It's what I love to do. NTA. You should pretend to sell the PS5, or really sell it and get your money back. Replace it with a box of toothpicks. Tell him it was his sister's idea. Record his reaction. I worked hard to be able to get it for him and I didn't expect this from him. They can say I'm being childish for how I reacted, but I'm hurt, I'm angry, and I feel like I'm not being appreciated nor respected. This is too much and I couldn't take it. NTA. So he thinks it's a good thing to humiliate you in front of his family and his family thinks it's okay to humiliate you even more. Especially the sister for recording your reaction. Honestly, I'd throw his actual gift at him and take back the PS5 and say that's my Christmas gift to myself. Santa doesn't give presents to naughty people. Also tell him this shows you how much he respects you and how much his family respects you and you should rethink about being a part of his family. NTA. His sister's TA. He's either an idiot for going along with this or he's an R2. Look, are you sure you want to be tied to a family that thinks this kind of thing is funny? A funny joke is handing you a box of toothpicks and then when you ask if he's serious handing you the real gift. This was just mean and taken way too far. It also sounds like he really didn't have your back with his family at all. Not only did he not stop his sister from videotaping it, but when his family started talking about how this ruined the evening, it doesn't sound like he stood up and took responsibility for it, reminded them of their own actions that contributed to all of this, or was able to see your side of it at all. NTA. A funny joke would be handing a box of toothpicks with a lovely necklace hidden inside, or similar setup where it would be obvious that it was a joke the moment Top opened it. This wasn't funny at all. AITA for correcting school papers in front of my ex-wife's husband. She remarried a few years ago and made it clear that she wanted no more kids. That really upset him. He awkwardly tries to bond with our kids and a few times he's crossed boundaries. I really have no relationship with him, but there is tension between us. My oldest started middle school, which required updating his registration information. My ex said she used the same information as before, but I wanted to change my email address. I went to his school and my ex's husband was there. He was dropping off some stuff for my ex. I didn't acknowledge him until I saw the paperwork for my son. The information was written out not by her but by her husband. He had listed himself as the parent and me as another contact. I looked at him and said, "Really, Brent?" He looked at me and asked, "What is it now? You put yourself as Tyler's dad." It was a mistake if I did. Yeah, okay. Well, it's a mistake I'm correcting right now. It was embarrassing for him and I clearly put him on the defensive without warning. Like I said, I don't talk to him. He told my ex I made him feel like a criminal in front of everyone. My ex understood correcting the information but said there was no need to call him out like that. All I said is that he won't do it again based on how I handled it. Update: my ex and her husband asked me to apologize for causing a scene in the office. Not to them but to the office staff. Their logic is that my ex and I did a lot of volunteering at the school when our other son attended, and the plan was for her and her husband to volunteer again. He feels like he's been pegged as a weirdo after I called him out over an honest mistake. I asked her what exactly was he going to be volunteering for. She said he wanted to work in the classrooms or special events. I told her that isn't going to fly with Tyler having Brent at his school like that. NTA. It was not a mistake. He did it on purpose. Why? Because he literally put himself as the parent and you as the other contact. NTA. His issues with not having bio children are not your problem. He's the stepfather, and you're an active and involved father. He needs to respect that line of demarcation and never again cross it. NTA. Doesn't sound like calling out to me. You just noticed, clarified, and corrected a mistake that he made. It only becomes a problem if it was intentional and there is cause for people to get emotional. It was intentional. No step-parent puts themselves as the parent unless the other parent isn't in the picture at all. Op is Tyler's dad and is in his life. Sounds like Brent wants to take Op's place since he married a woman who doesn't want more kids. If kids are so important to Brent, divorce the ex and marry a woman who wants kids. NTA. I find that really creepy. Nobody accidentally lists himself as the parent and the child's parent as other. If he did not want to be publicly embarrassed, he should not have deliberately lied. It's good you corrected him publicly, because it will make it more difficult to be sneaky in the future, and the school will keep an eye on him. AITA for ruining Christmas by kicking out my dill for humiliating me. I have 3 kids. 2 boys, 1 girl. I get along really well with 2 of their spouses. Patrick is a little different. He has always been asocial and introverted and could be cruel to his little sister, making fun of her and putting her and her interests down. Patrick met Dill 15 years ago. They got married 8 years ago. Dill is the one I struggle with. I've tried to be as inviting and warm and loving to her as all the other spouses. She's also mean to my daughter. She makes fun of her and even referred to daughter as a beard because daughter's spouse is effeminate. Sorry if this is confusing, lol. This year when baking cookies with my daughter and Dill told me to not get Patrick any gifts because he doesn't want any. He hates getting gifts. I've always known Patrick wasn't much for gifts, so we'd go very simple and practical, thinking of things we could upgrade for him, pots and pans, power tools, etc. But Dill was very insistent about it this year. He was always appreciative and admitted he could use them, but she insisted, so I didn't get Patrick anything. When we opened presents this year, everyone was laughing and having fun. We get to the end and Dill turns and looks at me and says, "Where's Patrick's present?" I said, "You told me not to get him anything, remember?" She said, "No, I didn't." My daughter says, "Yeah, you did. I was there." Dill then laughs and says, "You guys must be off your meds again." Daughter and I both manage mental health issues, so this was an example of Dill's mean streak. I was so humiliated and upset by her little comment that I just snapped. I told Dill and Patrick to leave, and to not bother coming by again until Dill can learn how to be a good Dill, and told Patrick that the way he allows her to trash the members of our family is just unacceptable. Daughter is on my side, but Christmas was awkward after that, and my husband and other son told me that I overreacted and that it's just her sense of humor and that I should be used to it by now. Used to what? Being disrespected and mocked in my own home. But I don't know if my actions were too over the top or not. I know I ruined Christmas for them, but what about me? What about my Christmas? NTA, besides the humor, she insisted on not making any gift but then called you a liar. She did it intentionally to make you look bad. You didn't ruin Christmas for anyone, you've made Christmas for everyone, and a person tried to ruin it for you. You tried your best not to allow it. Get over your son. He wasn't a good person before, he won't change until he gets a good reason to. You won't make him. NTA, that's not a sense of humor. It's gaslighting for real. Hi all, I wanted to thank you all for the comments and advice. I've had a lot of wonderful conversations with people. I usually stick to the cute animal pages, so this was a little scary for me. My daughter has been reading the comments and she and I are having a great talk about a lot of this. She and I have talked about her father's view of women, and she has talked to her own therapist a lot about her brothers and about her dad and me and how the dysfunction hurt her through the years. She doesn't blame me because she knows I did try, but we will work on this relationship together. Patrick and Dill won't be allowed back until we all talk about the situation and his treatment of his sister over the years. If he never wants to talk about it, so be it. His father can go visit him. I will give Dill a chance to make things up to me, but I don't have a lot of hope for us to repair things after today. Thank you all. Beth.